Lazer is a weird case in the game development world. Its codebase is publicly available with hundreds of pending pull requests and over 1,000 documented issues. Only a fraction of these are processed in each release, so you might wonder, what gets priority?
For various reasons, I decided to take a step back from writing code and switch to doing some project management. Any kind of software development, it's all about prioritization. When everyone is working through like the daily grind and dealing with all these users wanting things from us, it can feel very overwhelming and almost as if we don't have any manpower to get things done. So I've created a new Peppy's Untitled project. I really don't want to give it a name. I've created this iteration loop. In each of these iterations, I'm assigning tasks which I think we can get done in that time period. We have a stand-up every 2 weeks, so I've kind of aligned it with that. And it's not really about assigning it to anyone in specific. It's more about figuring out what the next big things are that we want to get done for us. Once I've assigned those tasks in the iteration, any of the main devs which is looking for things to do can go in there and pretty much just grab tasks they want to.
We can use the new Song Select redesign as an example of how this stuff works. Song Select has been a big focus in Lazer as of recently, so as you might expect, this means certain Song Select tasks have been high priority too. A lot of people have been asking for grouping by collections and rank achieved, so Peppy assessed that they were high priority, plopped them into the task queue, then Frenzy Byte took on the dev work and added them to Lazer.
Rank achieved, just one little thing to note there. It currently only works with local scores. Right now, server-side scores are not retrieved, so we can't filter by those, but eventually that will happen.
Not every change goes through this whole process though. For example, let's talk about the favorites indicator turning into a button.
This was a user proposal, and the user also proposed changing the play count displayed next to it to change colors if it's a beatmap you've already played. So I think that'll happen in the future. It hasn't been implemented yet.
So this was a task you prioritized, then Spaceman took it on, right?
Let's call it a 30-minute task because I don't think much was involved there. If someone sees a task which they can finish in under 15 or 30 minutes, then it's fine for them to just go ahead and do it without asking. So I don't want to make this completely stringent and take the fun out of development. That's not the goal here.
So then what other Song Select changes are quick ones?
Basically all these tasks are 15-minute because I was just when I'm going through issues and triaging the issues, if I see something that I can fix faster than I can triage and reply to the issue, then I just do it. So a lot of these are 2-3 minute tasks, to be honest.
And for reference, how long does a full-length task take?
Anywhere from an hour to multiple weeks. As an example, Smoogy's working on matchmaking and actually making forward progress on that now. He's probably going to finish an initial MVP after a 4-week period. So yeah, some tasks can obviously take a lot longer.
This new process also accounts for reviewing pull requests. If, say, a community member submits a change for something that's cool, Peppy can then prioritize it and a developer can pick it up to review. That's kind of what happened with this feature by Danny211E, allowing local plays to be sorted by more than only score.
The first thing people are going to be is when can we expect this to work for global rankings? And yeah, that one's a bit more complicated because that involves actually making server-side infrastructure changes, but we have set up the whole infrastructure to handle this, so we can do things like sorting leaderboards by PP. So yeah, it's something which will come online in the future, and that's why when you switch to global leaderboards, the drop-down is still there, it's just disabled for now.
Also, Necodex added a sound effect for leaderboards popping in, and for these info blocks. They both sound pretty natural, so you might not have even noticed.
This one's kind of important, the update ranked status when a beatmap is selected. Up until now we have been displaying a lot of online information about the beatmap, but we never stored that locally, and this change has been about taking on that information and caching it locally so we can then use it for things like grabbing new user tags from the server and keeping them local, so we can now have Song Select search via user tags.
So this new gameplay leaderboard design, I assume this is something you prioritized at some point, right?
I believe this was one where Frenzy came to me and was I think I can implement this pretty easily. And I was yeah, go ahead. It wouldn't have been one of the things I chose as a next up task because it's honestly it's just a redesign. I think if I said that was a big one, people would have questions about my prioritization because I don't think it should be prioritized.
Oh.
I think the old design was not that bad.
This new automatic offset calibration setting is something that was prioritized. It essentially removes the need to click this button and is applied in a smart, mathy way that ensures plays with high unstable rates, like this one, don't impact the offset that much. Unstable Rate, coincidentally, also has a new Argon skin element as of this update. And another quality of life thing, failed replays have this new pop-up window, letting you rewind after the fail happens, or see the results page. We might or might not also see a new statistic on the results screen one day, pause count.
I just think it's a cool stat to be able to see. And we're not just storing pause counts, we're storing the time of the pauses. So we will be able to see like on a graph where people have taken their breaks.
Over in Mania, touchscreen layout options have been added to PC builds for anyone with a touch monitor. Key conversion mods have a lower multiplier because apparently you could convert 5K maps to 4K and get on top of the leaderboards. And Mania long notes no longer have hold hit sounds. Sometimes.
Hold notes just don't play sliding sounds, but only for non-converts. For converted maps, it does play the slider sounds.
Can I ask why?
Apparently, that was a thing in Stable.
So you're porting over a bug from Stable?
No, it looks to have been done intentionally in Stable, as in, if you were making a Mania map, you don't want hold sounds or slider sounds to play. It's just how it was implemented, intentionally.
Here's one more community contribution, this time for Catch. The new Moving Fast mod inverts dash controls. So instead of pressing this to speed up, you're sped up by default and use the button to slow down. I saw a few PRs related to like something about audio libraries.
Something audio library, oh my god. That was one of like my personal focuses for the last 4 weeks, I guess. You know how we had that backwards seek thing? The bug?
The one frame skip backwards, yeah.
You know how it hasn't been fixed until this change that we're looking at right now?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been a long back and forth with the developer of the audio library to get things working. And like he fixed the underlying issue very fast, but because we hadn't updated the audio library in a while, there were also like 3 or 4 new issues that came up, and they were really bad issues. Like the editor seeking back 3 seconds every time you started playing, all these new bugs came up. So I had to painstakingly go through and like create reproduction cases for him to fix.
Skins sometimes have ridiculous names, so being able to rename them is really convenient. When using the recent skin mounting feature though, any name set in Lazer would have been reset, so this change ensures that that doesn't happen anymore. And for anyone who uses a really tiny taskbar, you'll be happy to see Lazer's new 16x16 icon. New editor features aren't exactly a priority for Peppy's Untitled project, but Hybe doesn't care. He's on a mission to make the editor's Verify tab useful. You probably don't know what this is, so I'll let Peppy explain while I show what's been added here.
Yeah, so the Verify section is Lazer's version of AI mod or iMod, whatever you want to call it. But it's also aiming to be a lot more than that, to have like up-to-date rules for ranking criteria. The hope is that we can get this into the editor in a state where it's better than the third-party tools that people are using right now. I think Hybe is just going down the list of things which is missing and adding them all in one by one.
For anyone who's somehow mapping with tablet, you can now hover the sidebars with your shaky hand and still have them expand. Previously, you'd need to make your cursor perfectly still to make this expand, which, while hovering, not really possible. And to close things out, here's a few of the more interesting UI changes from this release. The star rating range on multiplayer lobbies now only considers current and future maps. Before today, it would also consider any previously played maps, which sucked for cases when that one guy would put on like a 12-star map in a 4-star lobby. There's a new menu tip design. You can right-click a beatmap panel to show the download and favorite buttons. These were already visible by hovering, but mobile exists, so an alternate was needed too. And notifications are more detailed. They show profile pictures and message contents whenever relevant. Thanks, developers. So it's been a month. Has this new project management thing been working out so far? Or do you see anything about it changing?
I really don't want to become just a project manager and read books about project management, do things by the book. I want to see what works for our team. We're a very small team. And, for the longest time, I was like, I don't think we need project management because we're so small. But the more I take on this role, the more I feel like we've been lacking it until now. The whole goal is to alleviate the other devs of process so they can be free to actually get development work done. I'm pretty happy with how things are going, and I think I have a good system set up now. The only reason things would change in a major way is if other people on the team come back at me and are like, this isn't working for me. Trying to think if there's anything else interesting to say. Let's leave it at that.